This warm spell in the last week has allowed some of the late winter edibles to pop out. And I'm going to show you guys a few of them. They're not very large yet, but in the next month or so they'll start to spring forth even more. But I just want to demonstrate that you can forage for food even in the middle of winter. So why don't you come with me. This rather beaten down plant right here is Barbaria vulgaris, or wintercress, or bittercress. And oftentimes in early winter, insects like to eat this. However, this is pretty much an exact replica of spinach. It has very much that sort of spicy, tangy feel to it. It's great in salads, it's great cooked up in a stir-fry. And it's pretty abundant. If you can find a patch that's not eaten by this bug, it'll definitely be a little more sustenance for you, but even this is still edible. This is Barbaria vulgaris, or wintercress. Here's another example of Barbaria vulgaris. This one isn't as eaten up as the other one. They tend to grow in almost like basil rosettes, very low to the ground. In midsummer, early spring, they send up a flower stalk that has the typical yellow cruciferous vegetable flowers, but this is the very, very common leaf pattern for them. Barbaria vulgaris, worth looking into. Right near that area, there's quite a bit of Leonoris cardiaca, which is a spot here that I've harvested quite a bit from before, but this is motherwort, which is an excellent tonic for the heart and cardioactive system. It's also good for anxiety. When it's flowering, it's better for females, and pre or post flowering, it typically has a better effect on males. So anti-anxiety, useful as a cardiac mediator, not so much a stimulant. And to the left of that is Stellaria media and Taraxacum officinale, which of course is chickweed and dandelion. Chickweed is a really interesting plant because it contains a lot of nitric oxide, which is really good for your cardiovascular system. And it's pretty easily identified by these kind of unique flowers that it has. This one isn't currently flowering, it's just budding. But one easy way to tell is if you break the stem partially, there's this little, it's kind of be hard to see, vein that runs on the inside that's almost like elastic. And this, along with a line of hairs that runs on one side, when it hits a node it switches, it runs on a different side. So look for the elastic vein in the center, the hairs that run node to node switching sides, and also the low growth pattern kind of sprawls out. And when you find one patch of this, there's probably quite a bit around, so keep your eyes peeled for more of this. And this has a corn sort of taste, so it's very good in salads, good in smoothies. And I usually dehydrate quite a bit of dandelion and chickweed to use as a winter powdered herb, just to get a little wild food into my diet. Here's a slightly larger example of Leonoris cardiaca, or motherwort. In the beginning stages of growth, it grows pretty low to the ground, and then it'll send up this really tall stalk with these iconic mint family flowers on it. They have almost like a sort of a lip that comes out like this, kind of like a snapdragon, but a longer sort of proboscis. And these all have square stems, like all of the mint family. So you can tell by the square stems, sort of palmate leaf with hair, and the initial low growth pattern, and then the stalk eventually in the summer. but these can be useful as a tea. Again, if they're pre-flowering, they're better for men. During flowering, they're better for women. And typically the flowering tops or the leaves are harvested. I'll just share an interesting thing about trees that you may or may not know. On some trees, there are these little marks here. And this is a prunus, this is a cherry. But they're also on birch trees and quite a few other ones. These are called lenticels. And these are essentially the lungs of the tree. So it's breathing in carbon dioxide and it's breathing out oxygen. So these are the gas exchange valves that are built into the tree itself. And the leaves serve a function as well in the sort of respiratory system of a plant. But these lenticels are pretty much the pores that open up to the outer world from this living being. Pretty amazing. Thank you guys for joining me on my chilly adventure today, and I hope this inspires you to go out and begin to identify and understand the importance of consuming and making medicine out of wild food. Stay well.